Welcome back to JRTV for the 2001 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season. We're here for the next race at Talladega for the running of the Winston 500. I'm Joe Rakeski, alongside me Trey Bardo. And Trey, this has always been the great equalizer, the draft here at Talladega, running in these packs of cars, basically 42 car packs. Any one of these 42 drivers, they've woken up here today and they said, I can win this race here at Talladega.
Joe, we're back to my second favorite type of track. I mean, I'm excited to be. It doesn't sound like I'm excited, but I'm a little hungover from last night. But you know, I'm pretty excited.
I think you'll get very excited when the race starts, Trey. When you start to see these 3 and 4 right packs and drivers going down below the yellow line on the back stretch, trying to make some moves as they get into turn 3 and then funnel up into from 4 wide to 3 wide. That's gonna be the exciting part of this race, Trey.
Yeah, I think as the time goes, my headache's going to go away, and I'll be just back to my normal self.
Well, speaking of back to normal self, maybe RCR has found a form here at Talladega. Sebastian Kukulan starts on pole for RCR. Justin Atkins, the rookie, starts in 10th. So 2 RCR cars, Trey, starting inside the top 10. Not too bad there. Also watch for Roush Racing. They start 2nd and 3rd. They have 4 wins on the season among their 4 drivers. And Zachary DeLello starting in 2nd. You have Matthew Bennett starting in 3rd. And watch for Hendrick Motorsports. Brett Seaver comes in 2nd in points. He's chipped into the points in the past few races. It's down to 109 points. Sierra starts in 5th. Jericho starts back in 37th. Meanwhile, Sierra's teammate Justin Zeidel starts inside the top 10. So, Trey, of those 3 major teams we just mentioned, RCR, Roush, or Hendrick, which do you think can rise to the occasion here at Talladega?
Well, if you look at RCR or Hendrick, they both got 3 cars in their stable, so if they can get together, that works. But then you have Roush here. They got 4, Joe. So, I mean, my math might not be right here, but I think 4 beats 3.
4 normally does beat 3, Trey, but the problem is that half of Roush is starting a little bit further back. You have Keyshawn Merchant starting in 18th, and Jordan Stout's a little bit further back in the field outside the top 25. So he'll have to try and make his way up to try and get with his 2 teammates that start at the front of the field, and we'll see who ends up at the front of the field after the end of 38 laps. But Trey, it is a beautiful day for racing here at Talladega. There are some clouds in the sky, but it is mostly sunny skies. 83 degrees for the air temperature. Very, very hot day. It might be the hottest of the season that we've had so far. 2 miles an hour wind in the south direction, so not much happening there in that regard. A 10% chance of rain, but we should be just fine to continue on here at the Talladega Superspeedway in Talladega, Alabama. The track 2.66 miles in length, 33 degrees of banking in the corners, the highest of the series, 18 degrees of banking in the tri-oval, and 3 degrees on the straights. Track opened in 1969, the first race held here in 1981, and the last 5 winners of the spring race at Talladega. You have Grayson Acevedo. Trey, you won it in 1997. Kevin Bandon, Joe Sandrovich, and then Keegan Thompson won this race last season in the number 5. It's a 38-lap race, and they won't have to pit here today at Talladega. So, Trey, these crew chiefs and pit crews know that they won't have to pit unless there's something wrong with the car. They can just kick back and relax and watch these drivers go ham out on the racetrack.
I wish I could say these crew chiefs and pit crews can sit back and relax, Joe. It's a super speedway. I don't think you can ever be nice and relaxed at these type of racetracks.
I will say probably the two members of the team that are going to be the most important and doing the most work here today, obviously the driver on the racetrack, but the spotter is going to be getting a workout here today, Trey. How important is that driver-to-spotter connection at a place like Daytona or Talladega?
I mean, pretty much the spotter is the driver's eyes at these places. A driver can only see what's in front of them, and half the time, it's another car in front of them, Joe. So they really can not see, I'd probably say 90% around them. So that's where the spotter comes into play to tell them who's on the outside, inside, who's behind them, and, most importantly, who's coming up behind them that are a lot faster than them. So hopefully they can use that momentum to get them out front. But, yeah, these spotters definitely have a handful, and this is where they're going to be making their money.
Well, Trey, I'm excited to get going, and it's about ready for the time to get the command to fire these 42 engines up for racing in the Winston 500 at the Talladega Superspeedway.
Runners, start your engines!
Trey, I think that was a worthy command for Talladega.
I have to agree.
Well, the 42 engines have come to life here at Talladega, and the 42 cars are rolling off the starting grid, led by Sebastian Kukulan and Zachary DeLello. They'll lead us the green flag in the 30 in the 97. But let's talk about some drivers towards the back of the field, because there were some issues in qualifying. Eli Brent and Jack Haas were set to start in 10th and 7th respectively, but both failed. They're now at the back in 42nd and 41st. We'll see what they can do. Jordan Edwards had issues on his qualifying lap, laid down a slower time. There's an issue on the 9 car. He's lucky he was locked in because he was the slowest of the 45 cars here. He'll start in 40th place. We mentioned points leader Chris Jericho. He starts in 37th, and at a place like Talladega, how crazy it is, Trey. Unpredictable. could this be a day where he loses a lot of points and possibly loses the points lead to Brett Sierra?
I mean, not to get on his nerves, not that he's listening to us right now, but I don't know if I want to be starting in the back of one of these things, especially as the points leader, because, I mean, if an accident comes out early and you're caught up in it and, you know, the guy in second or third isn't and they got a really good finish, you might have to say goodbye to your points lead.
We saw last season at the second Talladega race, a crash happened early on and drivers who started to the back, like you, Comrade Evans, they got involved in the crash. They had nowhere to go in that one, so watch out early on. How about Lathan Strickland? Hometown kid, Trey. Lathan Strickland for DI, trying to get DI their first ever victory in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Could he possibly do it behind the wheel of that number 15 Menard Chevrolet?
Seems like whenever he starts near the back, he ends up finding his way up front pretty quickly, doesn't it?
It does.
It's happened, what, two or three times already this season?
It has, so we'll see if Lathan can find that same magic, and I'm sure he'll have even more magic because it's his hometown. If he can make it to the end of 38 laps, watch for him to be the aggressor at the end of this race, and watch for Keegan Thompson. He hasn't won in almost a year. He's dropping down in points massively, drastically dropping in points. Can Keegan find a way to get another Talladega victory, go 2 in a row in the spring race? We're going to find out. He needs, he's not won yet this season. Can he find a way to get it done at the high banks of Talladega? At the front, Sebastian Kukulon, who hasn't started a race this season because of some qualifying issues early on, and Zachary DeLello are going to lead the field to the green flag. They have Matthew Burnett, Jay Reno, and Brett Sierra. That's the front five. The Winston 500 about to get underway as they race, or as they pace into the tri-oval. Kukulon on pole, DeLello to his outside as they come down to take the green flag. And we're about to get underway at Talladega. There it is. The green lights are on and the green flag is waving. We're underway in the Winston 500. Look at Trey. They're already fanning out to the apron. They're already trying to make these big moves. Kukulon holding the lead as they come off turn number 4. The number 30 is looking to lead the first lap. Matthew Burnett trying to get down to the inside in front of the 24 and does get down to the inside. So who will lead the first lap here in the Winston 500 at Talladega? Give it to Matthew Burnett on the inside. The 17 leads the first lap. Now Zidell going through right to the bottom of the number 24.
Joe, they cut my mic off. I don't think they wanted me to speak. They cut my mic off.
I guess they wanted us to listen to the cars because I had a little voice in my ear say stop talking until they get off turn 4.
Yeah, I think oh my goodness, they're really getting down. They're playing follow the leader.
They are. Look at Luke Rainey going 4 wide down to the bottom. Look at this mess down the backstretch, and they have to sort out to turn 3.
I don't like the way this is looking already, Joe. We're already on lap 2, and they're getting spread out. They're almost 5 wide in some places.
Comrade Evans up to 3rd place, so he was the lowest starting RCR car. Now he's the highest running RCR car. He's in the inside lane. Jordan Stout right behind him, Mitch Corbett. But it is a stack of cars by Justin Zidell leading the way into the tri-oval. Car number 24, great last 2 races. Now he's leading here at Talladega. Now Comrade Evans wants to lead in the 31.
I mean, do you have friends at this moment, or are you still trying to figure out where you want to be?
My friend is the back of the pack and about 5 seconds off the pack because I would not want to be anywhere near this, Trey. I don't know how you guys do it.
Close they are getting up to that top side there. You know, I never get to see what it's like, especially at this track since I was always in the car. But I'm glad I'm up here because if I don't ever see this when I'm in the car, and it's a lot safer up here.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy back here. The front field's just 3 wide, but as we get to mid-pack around points near Chris Jericho and Ronald Kenton, Eli Bright, Jack House on the inside, it is crazy town, but they're starting to get a little bit more spread out as they get double file back behind and triple file 4 wide. It'll obviously slow them down and allow the front field to break away and get a little bit more spread out, not necessarily packed together as much as the 4 wide. Comrade Evans led the 3rd lap. Lathan Strickland, who started towards the back of this field, now up for 2nd place on Jordan Stout. You have the 33 Benny Lynn also coming to the inside. Zachary DeLello started outside pole, found a way down in line somehow. Nice, moving back forward on the inside. Heads up from the 40 of Colin Teague, who's had dismal last few races, but the number 40 moving up nice on the inside. Nathan Baird, Logan Williams, and the number 12 Mitchell Collins, who won at Daytona last season, all coming on the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, around they go!
Oh, no!
We have a car off to the inside. It's Fitzwater, and I think that was the 9.
They kept it to a single car incident. There was no caution called.
No caution called. They spun off, and somehow, I don't think any of them made contact. now for the lead. The 31, the 33 going at it, and they're still racing pretty aggressively up inside the top 10. Zach DeLello coming to the inside on Lathan Strickland. Benny Lynn's going to lead the lap in the 33. Teague with him, and it looks like Atkins and Beal might lose the draft because of what happened with the 2 and the 90, or the 2 and the 9.
I think it's safe to say we rarely see something like that happen at a super speedway.
Yeah, you know, normally if someone gets spun around, you're collecting about at least 5 others, if not more.
If we ever get a chance to look it over, or if it has to come to the end of the race, I'm really curious what happened there. It must have been a miscommunication, but luckily no one else was involved. But right here, Eli Bright's making his way up to the front, and look who's right behind him, Joe.
Yeah, Eli Bright and Chris Jericho both started towards the back of the field. Eli started back in 42nd, Jericho in 37th, but Trey's only taking them 5 laps to get up inside the top 5. That's just how crazy Talladega is.
Hey, I heard them. They were talking yesterday. I heard them say that Eli goes, "You're my drafting buddy outside of my teammates." So it seems like they both agreed on that because I think this entire time they've been right next to each other.
Yeah, I think Jericho's been pushing Eli for the pack this whole time. So great to see some teamwork between drivers that aren't within the same team, right? And it's not even the same manufacturer, right? That's a Pontiac pushing a Chevrolet up to the front of the pack.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find your friends where you can make it, but until it comes down to, like, I'd probably say 2-3 to go, no one's your friend. Like, right here, it seems like the 17 gave the Chris Jericho a really big push, get past Eli, and they're 4 wide for the lead?
They are 4 wide for the lead. Eli's going to back out, but he wanted no part of that. He lets Benny Lane into the middle, but it allows Chris Jericho to the inside, and Jericho, after we said at the beginning of the race, could this be, where he possibly loses the points lead, he might be able to gain 5 points on Brett if he leads this lap coming around, but Burnett's trying to change that in the 17.
Jericho has no help in the middle there. He's going to put right in that sucker who actually the 40 is going to drop down and help him out here, but 17 is going to be able to get this lap. He does.
So Matthew Burnett leads. He's the only Roush car yet to lead or yet to win this season. Excuse me. I think the 77 has an issue on the outside. He does.
Oh, that's holding up a lot of people. Your pole sitter. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know if the 77 Spire called in time that there was a car to the inside, but Ronald Kennington, who is running up on the outside lane, trying to find, obviously the worst place to have an issue happen is when you're right on the outside and you have to try and get down, but look at all the cars that slowed down, and it looks like Zidell, Strickland, Kukulon, our pole sitter, Jordan Stout, 60 Baird, Logan Williams, they're all going to be out of the draft along with Brandon Beal.
That's gonna, I mean, there's plenty of time to try to get back up, but they got to get organized and, hopefully get into a straight line there to catch this pack, because with these guys still racing 3x3x3 pretty much the entire way through, they're not going as fast. So, I mean, they can definitely do it, but they got to get organized here.
Burnett showing the power of that 17, powered around the outside to lead that lap. Now Brett Sierra to the inside, second in points, 109 points back, trying to get it on Jericho. He's now out in front. Neither Jericho nor Sierra have fled here today, so if Sierra gets to lead this lap, that's 5 bonus points that Jericho might not get here in this race. But Mathis Wells, Jericho's teammate, is trying to keep Sierra from doing that, and you can see that second pack, they're not getting single file trade. If anything, they're going 4 wide back there.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're still banking on a caution to happen here, which, I mean, definitely seems like another one could happen, but they really got to hope for that now, because they're still 4 wide back there.
Yeah, you can see they're 3 wide back there. They are 4 wide in the pack. The 77 Ronald Kennington made it to pit road, so we'll stay green as Samet Oskin jumps to the inside, the 25 of Brett Sierra, and Oskin's going to lead the lap over Brett, and here comes Keegan Thompson to the inside.
He's going to be able to get there. He's getting help from Tim Gary as well, so we haven't really talked about him much, as well as the 32 and the 22, but, this is the nice thing. It's a little bit of a cycle race here, but we get to talk about some names that we don't really get to talk about for most of the season.
Oh, look at them all diving to the apron. I think the 32 saw the 22 and pulled a little block maneuver right there. Noah Clifton trying to lead this race, but here comes Jay Rando.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a block. You just got to make sure that you don't wreck yourself trying to block.
You have to make sure that I think you've seen that a few times from some other drivers.
We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, there they go! Eli Bright! Zach DeLello, they spin around, and so far it's only those 2 involved. The 97, the 7 to the grass, Jose Mills. But it's the 97, the 8, and Eli has got back going, has a lot of right side damage, and no yellow.
Wow, they're really stringent with their yellows today.
Yeah, and that, if you're Eli or DeLello, you are frustrated. If you're the second pack, you're even more frustrated because you thought that was your chance to get back in, and now you're not. It's
not the first time we've been questionable about NASCAR's yellows. So, we're just going to keep on going with the race here. And right now, Eli's teammate is going for the lead.
Yeah, Anthony Hernandez, the one DI car we haven't really talked about yet this race, and now he's the only one left in the main pack. Anthony Hernandez going for it, the number 1 car. 93 Jackhouse, who also failed inspection like Eli, also up here now in second on the inside and actually going for the lead himself. Looks like the one's going to lead them into the trial, but Laura Chung fighting on the outside. Her first race she's made in a while, Trey, and here she is fighting for the lead with Anthony Hernandez. Great side-by-side out to the start-finish line, and that was too close to call for me.
Yeah, this is that's the type of finish I'm hoping to see by the end of this.
We might just see something like that, Trey, and definitely hope a yellow comes out so you get some more cars back into this, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna keep my 2 cents on NASCAR's call, but maybe I'll speak about it during the week. But for now, we're just gonna see what happens here. 29 is up there. Luke Rainey on the bottom with a big run.
Yeah, Luke got a massive push from Benny Lynn behind. They're trying to go for the lead in turns 3 and 4, and they will. So Luke Rainey using the Robert Yates power to move out in front in that number 88. His move to this team has not worked out like he's wanted it, and he's trying to get something done here at Talladega. As now to the inside comes Benny Lynn. Matthew Burnett still showing the pace of the 17. He's gonna make a move for himself 3 wide to the bottom.
This is what twice now he's been making moves for himself. Except this time around it's Jericho pushing him to the lead.
Yeah, so Jericho's going to push Burnett by the 33, but now here comes Conrad Evans. He pushed Jericho out, so now Evans moves to second. Colin Teague and Brett Searer moving up on the inside. Jamie Stammer Jr. has had some really good runs at the plate tracks. Here he is in the 71 moving forward as we're coming around to complete the 12th lap. No caution flag so far, but we have had 2 separate incidents in this race so far.
Almost 3 if you remember the 77 of Pennington almost taking out Zidell in the 24.
Yeah, that could have been the yellow that some drivers wanted, but unfortunately it wasn't. Well, fortunately for Zidell, he didn't damage a car. Unfortunately for Kennington, that didn't happen as well. But they're still racing pretty aggressively up here, so any little contact could cause a crash. So if you're outside this main pack, definitely just keep alert. The spotters have to keep you updated what's happening, but those drivers behind could definitely have a shot to move forward if something big happens up here. As Brett Sears going for the lead on Conrad Evans in turn 1.
You know, it seems like as we continue to lose drivers from this, these guys are starting to calm down a little bit here. There's not many 4-wide situations. There's a lot more 3-wide, but it's more, I'd probably say, what would you say, 6, 7 rows back?
Yeah, it's a little bit more in the middle of this pack, and as you can see, very spread out. Those drivers behind still racing pretty aggressively. There's some blocking going on mid-pack with, the 18, the 40. Sierra can't find a way by Evans, the 31, with a great push on the outside. I think that's just showing how strong some of these cars are. They're making the outside work, as Evans, I think, is going to be able to get by this 25 as they exit forward, get into the tri-oval.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on, how many guys are in your line, what cars are in your line as well. I mean, you got, up in that top line, it was, the RCR, a couple of DEI, you got Joe Gibbs up there as well. So, some tough guys up there. And on the bottom, I mean, it's not that they're not as powerful, but, I mean, again, you have some, I would say, mid-pack racers back there. I mean, on the bottom at least, that is.
Yeah, there are a lot of kind of the smaller teams. Like you see Petty Enterprises, Smed Oskin, Jacob Boyd in the 21 for the Wood Brothers, Jay Randall for Bill Davis Racing. So yeah, those are some of the smaller teams that are trying to, make a name for themselves here at Talladega. This a shot for them to try and get to victory lane, and a lot of them are doing a good job at trying to make that done. But while that's happening, Conrad Evans has pulled away to a few car length lead in that number 31. So he's showing that car may not have had qualifying pace, but here it is in the race, and he's pulled away from the draft a little bit.
He's got to be careful, though. If these guys do catch up at him back up in the draft, they're going to have a big run on him. So he's going to figure out which line he wants to protect. Looks like he's going to go up top, but that's going to open the door from the 22 here. But, man, that 31 is powerful. Just does not seem like anyone can get up to the back of him.
I think so far this race, the 2 best cars that I've seen, the 31 and the 17, Conrad Evans and Matthew Burnett. So watch for them at the end of this race. If they're still in the draft, they could be the ones to decide it. Coming up on the inside, the Need for Speed Ford, Riley Spurlington making his name known at the front, as he has a nice run going with Robert Yates Racing. He's now up to 3rd place, trying to fend off Matthew Burnett. And for the lead, here comes Jay Brando on Conrad Evans.
Oh, they were almost 5 wide there. That was close.
Yeah, back there with the teammates in the middle, Sierra and Thompson.
Wow, they were really trying to make that work, but luckily they backed out of that. That could have been that could have been disaster.
We're coming around to complete the 15th lap here in Talladega in the Winston 500. Jay Brando for Bill Davis Racing now leads this race. First time we've called Diego Yepez's name, the number 4 now going 3 wide for 2nd place. So Morgan McClure Motorsports has a car up here in this pack along with the 71 of Jamie Stammer Jr. And Yepez making the best of this situation. The number 4 moves to the inside, will grab 2nd place. Evan Hunter for MV2 Motorsports, number 36. He moves up to 3rd place on the inside lane.
Still going to get spread out here. 32 is going to peak below the 30. He's actually going to be able to get there. 30 went middle with no help behind him. And you can still see that 2nd pack back there is really actually losing a lot of time.
Yeah, they they are. They're still racing back there, and these guys obviously have a lot more cars. So if they're both racing, it's going to be the one with more cars to pull away. And obviously, this front pack is just getting away by 10th of the lap, really, from the secondary pack. But there's still 4 wide up here, so something could happen to what caused yellow. Jay Rando loving what he's seen. It's just clear racetrack out from him. He leads this race. Noah Clifton up to second place for PPI. Roberto Crown Jr. for Petty Enterprises moving down low for second place. Benny Lynn and Brett Seaver also in the inside lane. There's still 4 wide, and 2 of the best cars of the day are on the top side. Conrad Evans and Matthew Burnett.
I mean, they only got 3-4 cars up there. I mean, they're not really going to be able to make that much of a move. They got to find their way down below. As you can see, we have another pass for the lead going. Actually, is Brett Sear going to make it 3 wide on the bottom?
He is, with help from Luke Rainey, it looks like, on the bottom of the racetrack. But Rando, a big push for Benny Lynn to get back. Clear possibility to turn 3, and he will.
That's this outside. I mean, if you got the right cars behind you, you can make a giant push and protect that lead. We've seen it how many times so far this race. Honestly, I didn't think that top side was going to be that powerful.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see, just how powerful that outside is down the back straightaway. Now Steerer left out by Luke Rainey. Goes up from Tim Garrett, Keyshawn Richardson. So Luke Rainey's going to move for the lead now on Jay Rando. Rando will lead that lap in the 22, but Luke has the inside lane to turn 1. Tim Gary his pusher, and Luke Rainey now out in front through turns 1 and 2 in the Winston 500.
Definitely seems like they're starting to calm it down a little bit here. They're starting to get a little bit more strung out here, which doesn't mean anything because they definitely get real bunched back together again within a couple of laps. You can see right here, Keyshawn Richardson on the bottom's making a big run.
Keyshawn looking low, 3 wide, and possibly going for the lead on Luke Rainey. Got a big push from Evan Hunter. Can Luke come down? He was thinking about it, but knew the 99 was down there at the last second. His spotter probably yelled inside, and the 99 able to get to the inside and now lead this race for Roush Racing. Evan Hunter in the 36 also moving on the inside with help from the 55 of Roger Ray, the 1 of Anthony Hernandez, and the 12 Mitchell Collins. And Ray now wants to lead this race in the 55. Down low, 3 wide through the Trial. Who leads this lap at the start-finish line? It's going to be Roger Ray on the inside with the push from the 1.
This is getting real. You're starting to feel something heat up a little bit here, Joe. I mean, well, I don't know if you're feeling it.
Well, it's the completion of the first half of this race next time by. So I think they're knowing that they're getting down to the nitty-gritty and time maybe to start, seeing what you have, right? Some of these drivers may have been, waiting a little bit, trying to, save their cars, not really get involved in some of the stuff up at the front. But now you kind of have to get going to where you have to know what type of car you have for the end of this race. And
you got to be careful because as we clock down near the end of this thing, these drivers are going to be making more desperate moves, and with more desperate moves comes more risky. And one wrong move can cost probably say 10-20 drivers in this pack alone.
It could. So you gotta watch out for that as we get down to the final 15-10 laps. That's where the intensity level is going to be at an all-time high, and it's going to be very, very aggressive throughout the pack. Justin Atkins was nearly outside of the draft earlier on this race. He got just barely back into the draft, is now in the main pack, and is now going for the lead on lap number 20. Help from Mathis Wells and Keegan Thompson, who has really good members behind him on the inside lane. These are proven winners in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. And now Wells wants to lead. Keegan Thompson goes to the middle in the 5.
They're getting really close. I think they know that it's starting to come down to the wire here. I mean, like you said, we're only about halfway, but it just seems like these guys are something flip the switch or something's going on.
Well, you know what else they're probably getting told? We don't want to take our cameras away from this, but there is lap traffic up the road, right? There's one car, I think it's the 77 of Kennington, who had to come off pit road with his issue, fell laps down. So he's still out there just kind of running around in case a yellow flag or a crash happens. He can gain some spots, but at the moment, he's ahead for the leaders. He shouldn't be that slow to where he's going to, cause people to lose the draft, but you're going to want to be up at the front when you catch him so you can easily get around him without issue in case, it does get to that point.
Joe, our incidents with lap cars this season, I don't like it.
Yeah, there you can see the 77 off the road. So he's not too far away for these race leaders, and they're hoping that everything goes fine when they catch him. But there you can see just barely in the screen, Ronald Kennington is there, 3 wide for the lead. Evans now in the middle. He'll get up high behind the 40 of Colin Teague, allow Matthew Burnett the inside with help from Noah Clifton. Laura Chung still up here. Chris Jericho, the points leader, finding a way up into the top 10 as we near the end of this race.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing about these types of tracks with how bunched together these cars are. You can see Jericho's, second car on the inside right now, and
lead.
Oh my word, look at Laura Chung. She's going to lead this lap.
Yeah, she is. Big push from Chris Jericho on the inside. Laura Chung leads in the 23, looking to get it done for Abilities Racing to be her first ever win. Noah Clifton in the middle with Matthew Burnett. Down to the bottom, Benny Lynn, Jack Haas, Jacob Boyd. So some of the smaller teams moving at the front. Benny Lynn, a great run through 1 and 2 on the inside. Going on Chris Jericho for second place. That 33 looked pretty good right there. Obviously, these tires are wearing out, so at this point, it might be more about handling rather than just pure pace.
I mean, he's got no help, and he got all the way up to the inside of Jericho there. I mean, he had literally no one behind him.
That was a power move for the 33 of Benny Lin, who moves up to second place. Jack Haas tried to join his teammate Laura Chung at the front of the field.
Yellow.
And now the 33 to the inside. Yeah, yellow's out. Oh.
I thought, oh no.
The second pack crashed.
I thought it was crazy when I saw the caution lights, but no, they were out. I thought I was seeing stuff, Joe.
And that came just before.
At a great time.
They caught the 77.
An amazing time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kennington gets to preserve his 3 laps down status, and the pack doesn't have to get by him, and Benny Lin now leads this race in the 33. But, yeah, that was, interesting because you wouldn't have expected that pack to crash is what I'm trying to get at.
And it seemed like who was involved? The 66 and was the Kukulon?
Yeah.
That's some pretty big damage. So I'm curious to see if it was just these 2 cars, or because we've seen two times where it was just 2 car incidents and there was no caution called. So I'm curious what happened to bring it out.
Yeah, you'd have to think that maybe they stayed on the racetrack when they crashed. That's the only thing I could think of, with the other 2 obviously spinning off the track.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's going to answer the question is a replay. But, I mean, like you said, that came out at an amazing time that luckily these guys did not have to deal with a lap traffic.
Yeah, so we'll go check out, we'll check out what happened a little bit later on because we have a lot more to check out. First, we have to see what happened between the 9 and the 2, then the 8 and the 97, and then we'll see what happened between the 66 and the 30 to bring out this first yellow flag towards the end of this race. So, Trey, this happened very early on in this race and kind of came out of nowhere. Fitzwater and Atkins in the middle are going to get together, get down to Edwards, and spin around. Look at that hit.
Yeah, I mean, but watch this.
That's
what
well saved.
car control he has.
Well, Trey, I saw the talent in him. That's why he's part of my team.
I can see why now. But yeah, that was weird. I mean, it wasn't even like they were 3 wide. It was they were 2 wide.
Yeah.
And they ran into each other. So spotter miscommunication maybe? That was a strange incident.
Yeah, you have to wonder, maybe Fitzwater doesn't know how wide the stock car is, and
that could be it. That could be it.
had an issue with that. But now let's go see what happened to Zarek DeLello and Eli Bright to bring out the second incident that wasn't a yellow flag. So, Trey, the second incident of the day, still no yellow flag, but the 766 made contact, and it's on from there.
That was a hard hit for the right side of Eli Bright there, but he was able to continue on, and 97 slowed the car down. It was also able to get it going there. So, I mean, these guys are going to be able to get back in, and I don't think they lost any laps. I don't know if they came back on pit road or not, so we'll have to see whenever we go back to green, but again, there's not that much damage on them.
Yeah, so now we'll finally see what happened to bring out a yellow flag between Mitch Corbett and Sebastian Kukulon. So, Trey, this is an interesting scenario. They are running basically single file, Mitch Corbett on the inside, everyone's up top in the line, so he's trying to get up into the draft, right? But he might have been a little too antsy right here.
I mean, it's just a classic case of a driver pretty much trying to clear himself. Oh, that was a big hit there as well, but there's not much you could really say. It's clear cut, Joe. He tried to clear himself.
Yeah, obviously was not clear. Spins around. The yellow comes out. We can only assume because the cars are still on the racing surface, and there's obviously some hard hits with the 66 into the outside concrete. Maybe thinking that the car would be stalled on the concrete, they would have to put out the yellow. I think everyone did drive away, though, so we'll see what happened in a full speed replay to the 66. So here it is, same angle, because this is, the proof is in this angle, right? That he came up about 2 lanes into the 30.
They might want to call the driver and the spotter of the 66 to the hauler after this race. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how else you could try to defend that.
Yeah, that was a little confusing, not going to lie, but it brings out the yellow and it puts the field back together. So I'm sure the drivers that are outside the pack will be fine with it. Benny Lin might not be fine with it though, because he was leading this race at the moment of yellow. And he's back to the green flag in the Winston 500 at the Talladega Superspeedway. So, Trey, we've just cleaned up the first yellow, the field ready to take the green flag, but I think it's as good a time as any because it's going to be chaotic from here to the finish. Let's do our lunch chat right now, right? Let's just get out of the way.
I'm ready.
All right, so last week we said when should Dover add more pit stalls to support a 42-car field. Pretty one-sided in that of the 3 options. 89% said do it now, which you said, Trey. In fact, we both said that. And 11% said it never needs to be done. No one said no rush.
Wow, that's interesting.
All right, so quickly, before we get back green, there are 2 options for this one. At super speedways, because we used to not have plates and they used to kind of run a little bit more spread out, more slingshot drafting rather than pack drafting. The question here, which do you prefer, the pack racing with these plates or the more strung out kind of slingshot runs? Trey, you've raced in both, so I think you know.
I like the pack racing, Joe. It's more intense. I mean, it's a lot more stressful, but it's more intense, and I mean, it gives anyone a chance to really get this win because everyone's bunched together, so the cars are all even. So I'm going to go pack racing.
All right. Well, I'm sure there are definitely some drivers that will disagree with you, but that's the beauty of the Winston Cup Series, right? There's a lot of different disciplines as we're back green, and everyone trying to jump to the outside because they got better restarts. Because remember, you can't pass to the inside before a restart.
Well, I'll be So who was the beneficiary of this caution? Who were the ones that were left out of this thing in different packs, and now they're back into it?
Well, I was going to say these guys, but they're caught behind the damaged 01 and the 30.
Ooh. Wow. Wow, that is... Look how quickly they fell out.
Yeah, and look at Kugeland's even blocking down low. The 9's trying to get down there, but there are some that caught on, like the 24, the 6, and the 15. They weren't in it originally, so now they're back in it. And as long as these guys, if someone did not get a good start back here, as long as they can latch on with the 40s draft, they should be just fine to get into it and get up there at the end. As Chris Jericho's trying to block Evan Hunter, a very aggressive move there, but Hunter still has the inside on the 18. It's a two-car single file at the front. The 33 leads the 93 into the Tri-Oval. Now the Tri-Oval 33 continues to lead from the restart.
I mean, that's I feel bad for those guys that thought they had a chance to get back up in here because they're pretty much out of the draft already. They're gone. So it's just the original pack that's still in this thing.
Yeah, you can see right here these drivers. I think it was the 60 or the 01 that was holding them up more than the 30 because Kugeland's still, kind of staying here. But you never know, Trey. With 13 to go, there still could be another yellow flag.
Yeah, especially these guys. I mean, look how quickly they're getting bunched up, and this pack is bigger than what it used to be. So I would not be surprised if there was. I mean, we still got a chance for the big one.
Yeah, so Noah Clifton getting a push from Matthew Burnett, who's looked to be the fastest car here today, and he's showing it right now as they battle off turn number 4. He's trying to get to the inside for second place, but Clifton has the draft from the 33 to get back clear. Roger Ray is in 4th, watching those front 3. Can Clifton make a move on the 33 is the question so far. No one so far. Burnett wants that second spot for himself down to the inside. He's going to get it this time in turns 1 and 2.
We'll have to see. I mean, doesn't really have any help, but here comes Conrad Evans to the inside. He was caught outside. He had a strong car when he was out front here, so if he gets back out front, I wouldn't be surprised to see if he can put himself a little bit of a gap again.
He's going for second place himself. Benny Lynn continues to lead in the 33. Kind of, they keep bound for second. He's so far uncontested. Strickland is back in the draft and showing the pace of that 15. They're now 4 wide for 4th place. Keyshawn Richardson to the inside. Strickland almost made contact as they went into turn 3. Luckily kept it out of the other cars, and we're still going with this front pack. Benny Lynn, Conrad Evans first and second. Evans making the move on Lynn into the Tri-Oval.
I mean, these guys, they know we're coming around to about 10 laps to go here within a lap or two, so they got to start to put themselves in the position where they want to be to hopefully be out front by the time we hit the last lap, though. Granted, I don't think I'd want to be out front. I would probably be second or third car on the inside when it comes to this last lap.
Yeah, I was going to, a little bit later on, I was going to pose that question. Where do you want to be towards the end of this race? Do you want to be leading out front, or do you want to be second or third place?
No, it's never too early to ask that question.
Yeah, it's never too early. And I guess right now, look at those moves. And it's the Petty Enterprises cars to the inside. Svedowski, Robert Brown Jr. going for first and second.
We haven't seen too much teamwork being done this race, but I think this is one of the first instances we've seen of it. I mean, see what happens when you get used to a guy, when you're racing around a guy you're comfortable with. You get out to the front real quick.
Oh, well, they're going to abandon right there. The 44 moved high, the 43 moved low.
It was working.
It worked to get them up there, but once they got up there, they kind of abandoned that work. As Roberto Crown Jr. is going to lead here, Jordan Stout, the 6 is back in it. Justin Zidell, the 24 is back in it. Stout now wants to lead over the Petty cars.
And look who's back up in this thing. The 24 is Zidell with his teammate Brett Sear, right? And Keegan Thompson's a car behind them, too.
Yeah, watch for Keegan to maybe make a big dive here off turn 2 to get down to the apron and try and join these two teammates.
I think Zidell knows, though, because I don't even know who he's trying to block there.
Look at Brett to the middle.
I think he put his teammate in the middle there. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication, but here comes Keegan Thompson, like you just said.
4 wide to the bomb for second place, all behind the 24 of Justin Zidell. Keegan Thompson, a long winless drought. The driver who was maybe the favorite for the championship last season, now not even in championship contention this season. He's trying to just go for wins, but Anthony Hernandez and the one who's never won, DI's never won. Here they are 3 wide for the lead, coming back to 9 laps to go.
Oh, you can start to feel the ramp up now, but they got to be careful because if a caution comes out, it could be the end of the race. I mean,
the RCR boys are banging doors into 1.
I don't. Yeah, that's that's not the type of teamwork you really want to be doing here. I don't know if they know about that, but it doesn't tend to work out the best.
They are 4 by 4 behind the front tender, so Luke Rainey 3 wide to the bottom. Nolan Lawrence was fastest in practice in that number 26. He's in the middle lane. 4 wide for Jacob Boyd to the inside. It's all kicking off behind the front 5.
They're starting to get real close up to that top side there, but they're still not touching the wall. You can still see the Hendrick teammates up top there, Keegan Thompson as well, but where you want to be right now is the bottom, and points leader Chris Jericho's third car on the bottom right now, so he's going to slowly start to make his way up, but I think Luke Rainey's going to be able to hold them off on the, hold Jacob Boyd off, that is, on the bottom lead this lap around, but he's going to make a move to the inside.
Luke Rainey's never won. Jacob Boyd never won their first and second. Chris Jericho won here last season in the second race at Talladega. He's now second car on the inside, pushing Jacob Boyd to the race lead. Roger Ray has never won. He's on the inside. Mathis Wells has won many times. Tim Gary won at a track kind of like this at Texas World. He's on the bottom. Jack Haas has never won. Chris Jericho for the lead, 3 wide. Roger Ray is pusher. Roger Ray looks 4 wide, but Luke Rainey might get clear in the 88.
I wonder if Jericho trying to move to the inside was trying to get with his teammate there, but I mean, they got together, but I think they wanted to get together on the bottom.
They got together in the wrong lane. We'll just go with that.
Yeah, I don't think that worked out how they wanted to.
Well, now Luke Rainey continues to lead. Roger Ray is in second. Tim Gary is third. Jack Haas behind him. Noah Clifton for PPI Motorsports has never won. Matthew Burnett trying to get his first win of the season for Roush Racing. And Lathan Strickland going for his second win in DI's first. We're within the final 10 laps, and we're 3 wide for the lead. Jack Haas at the bottom in turn 1.
These guys are going to start to make more desperate moves. They're going to dive to the inside a lot harder here, coming to the backstretch, but who's going to be the one to make the move that ends up working out for them the best? See, the 32's kind of blocking. The 17's going to look even lower. He's got help from Lathan Strickland behind him.
Lathan Strickland, the hometown kid from Alabama, going for the lead on Matthew Burnett. Might push him up 4 wide here. So far, Burnett stays clear, but Strickland's up to second. The crowd is roaring here at Talladega.
I mean, I think they know Lathan Strickland's got a tough car underneath him, and I think he knows that as well. I mean, he's been making moves. He's been the one that I've noticed that once he falls back, he can get up front here again pretty quickly.
Benny Lynn to the inside. The 33 showing some pace in the second half of this race. Burnett's trying to protect for all it's worth, but now the 33 to the inside. Mitchell Collins has won one of these plate tracks before, Daytona night race last season. He's pushing up into the top 5 at the end. Cement Oskin to the bottom 3 wide. Haslam from Jordan Stout and his teammate Roberto Crown Jr. also back on the inside.
But the real question is, I mean, where do you want to start to put yourself at, Joe? We said it before, is that lap car going to come into play?
Yeah, that's within a lap probably, Trey.
Well, I thought we stayed clear of lap cars because of the caution, but I don't think we're going to be able to steer clear of this one.
Yeah, the 66 just a little bit too slow to get away from as Benny Lynn pulls away once again to a nice sizable lead. That 33 really strong in the second half of this race. Jordan Stout up to second, but now being challenged by the 43 Roberto Crown Jr. Jay Randall also on the inside. We're coming back to 5 laps to go in the Winston 500. Lap traffic. Mitch Corbett is ahead and will play a hand in the end of this race. Who does he hold up? Who does he let by?
It looks like we're probably going to catch him just about the backstretch. Actually, we're going to catch him right now. Oh, there's a lot faster than I thought.
Yeah, Lynn jumped to the top, knowing that there was nowhere else to go but the top. Corvette's holding the inside, now the middle. They're going to have to try and dive low. The 6.6 now to the outside, blocks those guys.
Luckily, you got a lot of room here to try to get around it, but people are going to be going for the same spot here. Who's he going to hold up? He's going to have to go top side here. And, quite a few guys are getting around it, but there's going to be the select few.
Well, Trey, if no yellow comes out, feel bad for the front 2 because they're going to swallow it up whole.
Oh, that is a big gap here, and we're still trying to figure out how to get past these guys here. They're going to slowly manage their way around them. And just about 5 cars left remaining. And just 2 remaining, 1 remaining.
Yeah, Mitchell Collins going to be the one to left out here. It's going to be close if he stays with the draft.
You got to be worried about these other guys staying with the draft here. But like you said, the front 2, they got caught up pretty quick.
They did, but they couldn't make a move because it was in the middle of the corner. Now Jay Reno drives to the inside. Sierra doesn't go with them. Keegan's wondering where to go in the 5. He was kind of top low. Conrad Evans looking to go even lower.
To the bottom.
The 5's still blocking off, though. The 31, he's just got pushed the 5 to the inside. The 22.
Oh, my word. That could have been bad if they would have made contact right there.
Well, Trey, we're coming back to 3 laps to go at Talladega. Still Benny Lynn leading the way. Roberto Crown Jr. in second. 3 wide for third. Conrad Evans looking on Keegan Thompson. The 31 showing pace. Here comes Zidell, Teague, and Strickland. Lawrence, Rainey, his teammate Sproju right behind him. 3 laps remain at Talladega.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm thinking I'm liking the where the 15th sitting right now. Maybe even, is that the 26 as well? I mean, the way the places they're sitting with the amount of laps we have left, or even the one, he's a little farther back. But if the cycle game comes out, they might be in a good spot right now.
Well, Trey, there's 2 more cars ahead. I pray to God we don't catch them because look at Evans is all over the place trying to get runs. Look at him, how fast that 31 car is.
I think he is. He's taken some lessons from RCR that they've been known to have some good super speedway speed, and it looks like he's putting it to work right here. Look at Lathan Strickland though. He's gonna get a big run here coming onto the front stretch.
Evans for the lead into the trial for the 31 car. None of the top 3 have won yet this season. Make it none of the top 5 have won yet this season. Conrad Evans will lead with 2 laps to go, but Lathan Strickland, the Alabama native, is now going for lead in turn 1.
Oh, listen to that crowd. Oh, Evans is gonna block though.
Strickland gets to the inside hustle from Seidel. Now he needs to hope that they battle behind, because if not, he could be the one to get shuffled out here off turn 2.
Hey, don't count out Laura Chung though. She's sitting 4th car on the inside line there. Her first race back, and how many races missed? She's got a fast car getting help from the 20 as well.
Seidel for the lead. He's not won yet this season. Mathis Wells goes 4 wide on Laura Chung. Matthew Burnett and Brett Searle with Wells. Remember, Searle won the 500.
No, Joe, we might catch up to these lap cars. I don't mean to cut you off, but we're catching up to these things fast, and we're going to catch them on the last lap. They're too wide.
Yeah, they're side by side. We're going to catch them on the last lap, and that's when all these drivers are pushing hard. Look at Strickland still fighting on the outside because he knows he has a chance with lap traffic here. We're at the white flag now. Strickland's going to be leading.
Where do you want to be?
Nowhere. Maybe the outside. Look at no one's going to clear the 30. You're going up in the outside.
Lathan Strickland on the top side.
Strickland with Laura Chung. Can they get by the 01 though? Because look at, they're still not by the 01 yet.
Oh, if they can't get by him, hopefully you clear the 30 with Lathan Strickland. Does dive to the inside. Is he going to do it?
Matthew Burnett's all the way down low in the 17. Look at him. But the 01 pulls down. Here comes Brett Sierra. And Justin Atkins on the inside.
Oh my word, this is going to come off in turn 4. Who's going to be able to get the run coming to the tryover? Remember, Joe, the start-finish line's farther down compared to Daytona. Who's going to be the one to time it correctly?
Brett Sierra, here comes Atkins looking low with Evan Hunter, the rookie from RCR who's never won. It's his first season. Evan Hunter 3 wide to the bottom through the trioval. MB2 Motorsports going for both cars to win this season, and they're going to get it done at Talladega.
Oh my word!
Well, join Tim Gary and the Winners Club. Evan Hunter, you have done it for your team. And that's 2 wins for MB2 this season, Trey.
I don't know what I just. How many leaders did we go through on that final lap?
Too many. We thought Lathan had it, but he couldn't get outside the 01. Then we thought maybe Burnett had it. Then it was Sierra. Then it was Atkins. Then Evan Hunter won it from 3rd place off turn 4.
Joe, I love super. See, this is why you want some Packway racing, because I don't think we would have had this with the slingshot type racing.
Trey, I'm looking down on pit road. It is pandemonium in the MB2 Motorsports 36 pit because, I mean, you thought they were so happy with, Tim Gary winning at Texas World. Well, that's their team owner that just won for them.
That's insane. I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah. The funny part of all this is, after qualifying, Evan, saw Tim's starting position a little bit further back, and he jokingly said, "Oh no, how is he ever going to recover from that?" But you know what? I think Evan was the one to recover best here. He's the one that won the race.
Oh man, I mean, these cars on pack racing type speedways, they're the ones to watch out for.
Yeah, those MB2 cars pretty good at the drafting track, so we'll have to watch for them a little bit later on this season. At Daytona, Michigan, we'll have to see how they do there. Obviously, Evan Hunter, the winner here today at Talladega, leading just the final lap. Justin Atkins had some damage on that 29, but fights his way up to 2nd and nearly had the pass made on Brett Sierra if it weren't for the 36 moving to the inside would have been Atkins to win this race. Jamie Stanford Jr. from Morgan McClure Motorsports, 3rd place, once again showing the pace on those super speedways. Brett Sierra, winner at Daytona earlier in the season, gets 4th here and will gain a good amount of points on Chris Jericho, who did not finish inside the top 10. And Noah Clifton for PPI gets a top 5 out of today. Roger Ray in 6th. Matthew Bennett, the highest finishing Roush card, 7th. 8th place for Yepes. That's Stanford's teammate. So 2 of the Morgan McClure cars get top 10s. Jack Haas, 9th place, and Mitchell Collins rounds out the top 10. Roberto Crown Jr. gets 11th. Mathis Wells and Chris Jericho, 12th and 13th. So, Trey, after this race, Jericho's now where his finish is 13th.
Well, I mean, that's still not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still something to say that your worst finish so far is 13th.
you know you're having a really good season when you go, oh God, I got 13th.
I'm just really eager to see where the point standing is now, considering what there's 10 spots in between them.
Yeah, and it's about 5 points per position for a good chunk of those.
Oh, that's a big hit.
Yeah, that's going to be, it's probably going to be near 60, 70 points for the points lead now for Chris Jericho. So still a decent points lead, but considering just a few races ago it was over a full race, he's definitely not going to be liking that. Lathan Strickland, after leading at the white flag at his hometown, at his home track, 18th for Lathan. But definitely a good showing, especially after not being in the trap for more than half the race. I'm sure he obviously loved to have a shot at the end. Keegan Thompson could not find a way to victory lane, 21st, not the race he was wanting. Laura Chung had a really good car along with Benny Lynn. They didn't finish well. Conrad Evans didn't finish well. Luke Rainey. So a lot of the drivers that had really good cars here today couldn't find it. 30 cars were in the draft at the end. 31st on down were drivers that got held up on the restart by some damaged cars like Fitzwater, DeLello, Baird, Beal, Mills, Bright, Williams, and Edwards. They all finished in their own little pack, 31st to 38th. Cars a lap down like the 30, the 01, the 66, and then obviously Ronald Kennington 3 laps down with his issues in the number 77. And as you mentioned, the points, we're looking at them right now. Chris Jericho still hanging on over Brett Seaver, but obviously, as mentioned, those points have gotten oh so close as we've kind of left the first quarter of the season. We're now into the second quarter of the season, nearing the first half, the completion of the first half of the season. And Trey, it's been an exciting season so far. And how about another underdog winner at one of these drafting types of racetracks?
I love it. I told you these type of tracks are my second favorite kind. I mean, it's that simple.
What's your favorite kind?
The ones I win at.
Okay. Well, the next track we're going to, you won a lot at, so this might be one of your favorite races of the season. We're going night racing at the Richmond International Raceway for the Pontiac Excitement 400 Trey. Good old short track racing under the lights on a Saturday night.
Good old bump and run.
Little bump and run. We'll have to see how that plays out. Obviously, Keegan Thompson won both races there last season. Could he possibly try and go for 3 in a row at Richmond, keep his 100% winning streak alive at Richmond? We're going to find out next week on JRTV. Congratulations to Evan Hunter and NB2 Motorsports on winning the Winston 500 here at Talladega. See you guys next Saturday night for short track racing at Richmond.